Saturday morning here. It's snowing a little bit outside. Actually going to be a pretty nice day, so we'll probably get some stuff done outside. But we're out here in the wood shop, and as we're finishing up some of these projects, we have a router that has a really bad cord on it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to fix that. We're going to bring you along for that. And then we're going to talk about probably our outfeed table. It's a Makita router, and from my experience with using Makita tools for a long time, doing carpentry, probably 30-ish years, the Makita cords tend to, be a little delicate. The jacket is over time. So all we're going to do is we're going to shorten this one up. We could go get a new cord, but the rest of it, we've inspected it. The rest of it looks okay. The cord's not too bad. It's not great, but it's not too bad. So for today, we're going to use what we have. We're going to shorten it up. I've gone and got some of the tools I think I'm going to need. So we're basically going to tear this apart. We're going to show you how we're going to fix this, and yeah, let's get it done. So I'm going to just leave you right there. I was going to zoom you in, but I think you can see what we're doing. This particular router has 4 screws in the cover. We're going to take those screws out and make sure it's unplugged. Set those aside. I'm going to take this cover off, and if memory serves, it just pulls off there. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and get everything right out of our way. All right, so now, let me get you zoomed in a little bit here. Okay, so now, this rubber guard here has 2 screws that hold it in. So we're going to take those out. Set them aside. A little plastic piece there, acts as a strain relief. So we got that. Now the switch has one of the wires on it, so we're going to take that off. So that's one of them right there. We'll go ahead and pull that out so you can see what we're doing. And there's the white wire. The white wire actually goes to a brush holder. Now, it's interesting, there's no actual electrical connection there. Let me grab a pokey bit and I'll show you what I mean. So this is the brush. I'll get you brought in here, see if it'll focus. There we go. And you'll see that red piece, and see how it's kind of loose? It's interesting that just kind of pushes and turns in the fuse in the brush holder. So there's the other end of it, goes up in there. It's kind of just a pressed fit up against that ring terminal. Right up against that. Yeah. Focus. So I bought some new ring terminals, but I'm not sure they're going to fit in there. So let's check that situation out. Okay, so they're a little too big to fit up in there. So because I was worried that might be the case, I also got some butt splices. Alright, so the new ring terminals I got are a little too big to fit up into the brush holder. So I was a little worried about that when I was at the part store. So I got some some red butt splices. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna just splice the white wire. I believe on the switch, it's just really not that big a deal. That's gonna work just fine. So what we have to do is we have to shorten our cord up. I'm going to start. There's a couple ways you can do this. You can use what you already have to try to pull that through. Or you can cut it off and start over pulling it through. I'm going to try to pull it through this way first before I cut it. There we go. Now we're going to cut that right there. And we're going to leave that one alone for just a minute because we kind of want to match that. So we're going to strip our wire out. Something like that. Just cutting the jacket off. And we're going to untwist as almost like a paper. I don't know if you can see that, but we'll untwist that. Cut that free. And then there's like a cloth rope. There we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to match up this black one that goes to the switch for length. And we're going to cut it off and get it ready to put an end on. Just like that. And our crimping pliers have color-coded jaws, so we want to make sure we use the red jaw. And we want our wire, you're probably not going to be able to see that, but we want our wire just protruding. We don't want it too far because it'll get under the screw, and our screw won't tighten up tight. So we squeeze it until it lets go, and then we want to make sure it actually caught. We want to give it a pretty good tug, and that's good and solid. So now on the white wire, we know we have to butt splice it. So we have to look at this a little bit and figure out where is a convenient place to do that. And I'm thinking this goes around that one in like that, went like that. Not sure you can see that real well. But we have to fit a butt splice in it. I'm sort of thinking maybe I've got a couple options. You know, I could probably put it right in there. So I think it wants to be pretty close right out of the gate on the wire is where we'll cut it and put the butt splice on. Same thing, we're going to give it a pretty good tug, and then We're going to probably cut that one right about there. There we go. So we're going to put the brush holder. I keep wanting to call it a fuse holder. We're going to put the brush holder, and what you do is you put it in sideways and turn it so the flat side is up in this case. And then we put our spring end first. And then we just shove our brush up in there. Doesn't seem like a great setup, honestly. Ah, there we go. You heard me push that and it snapped. That went in a little deeper that time. So we'll go ahead and get that put back in there. We'll get you spun around. We're going to put it back on our switch. Snug that up and run that wire around as well. There's little pockets for these wires to stick into, just like that. Then we're going to get you back around here, get that stuck down in there like that, and that. So now we have to pull that down into that location, and we have to put this piece back in. Probably pretty hard to see what I'm doing with my hands in the way here, but I get this in there, I'll show you before I put the cover on it. And then we're going to tuck that down in there and connect it just like that. So I'll bring it in here and show you what we've done. So that's the strain relief we just put back on. The black wire comes up and runs through these channels and around to the bottom of the switch. And then the white wire comes around and goes right directly to one of the brushes, which we want to make sure stays down in there. So now we'll put the cover back on and we'll try it. Zoom you guys back out a little bit. So we put our cord through our cover. It pretty much only goes on one way, just like that. We'll put our screws in. I like to get them all started and then tighten them up one at a time. The sun is coming out today. It's actually exceptionally warm for February in Maine. There, so we'll snug this down. doesn't have to be very tight. This is all plastic. There. Now we're going to make sure our router's not touching our table. We're going to make sure our switch is in the off position. And we're going to plug it in, make sure we don't see any sparks. We didn't. Now let's turn it on and see if it works. There you go. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this ring and I'm going to cut this off and put it in my pocket. And next time I go to the store, I'm going to get one. I'll get some. You'll notice even the insulation is getting bad on this cord. So what I'm probably actually going to do is cut the whole cord off right about there and take that with me as a whole. And I'll probably just try to get a whole new cord and some of these ends while I'm at the hardware store. But that's pretty much it. This has been a good old router. It's got a little bit of a weirdness on the base, and the base isn't perfectly flat. So we don't use it a lot, but it is handy when we're doing something where we're maybe not quite as concerned about the quality of the route, but we're in a place where we maybe are going to be a little rough on the router or something. You know, it's a good sturdy router. So, and we may see if we can't get a flat file and smooth this base out at some point. We'll just have to see. But that's pretty much it. That's a pretty simple electrical repair. Most of your products are the same way, be it skill saw, routers, sawzalls. They're all sort of fairly, I want to say fairly easy to do. So if you're on a job site and you cut the cord off, you know, you can get in there and fix that. My sawzall, I did that. The cord went bad like that, and I just used an extension cord. I had a 25-foot extension cord around that was kind of bad on the female end. So I cut it off at about the 12-foot mark and put it in there. You could do that. You could leave the whole 25 feet if you wanted, and that way you've got a little more reach on your cord. It really just depends on what you're trying to accomplish. But for us, this will get us by for now. We'll get a cord and some ends. We'll keep them in inventory. And some rainy day when we're bored, we may change it, but most likely it won't get changed until it's a problem again. This one was still working fine, but that was getting pretty bad. And if I can bring you in and show you, you can see the insulation right there was gone off the wire and off the other wire. So it was just a matter of time before somebody turned the cord and that shorted out. So it was due. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I know it was a little short, but we're getting stuff done here on a Saturday. We thought we'd bring you along for the ride. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.